Hello to all of my tater tots. Welcome back to the Couch Potato Queens channel, where we are covering the Challenge All-Stars Season 4, Episode 4.
Yes.
I am joined today with Lanny, the Stargate himself.
Hey, friends. I'm excited to be back. We got the Star memo, Star Maria. That kind of flopped, but I like the effort. The whole Star vibe. Husband's not with us tonight. He's traveling. We wish him safe travels.
Safe travels.
Bye.
Yeah, we're
But
here.
hi, Challenge. I'm excited. Let's talk about you.
Hi, Challenge. Hi, gay.
God, I love that bitch, and I really like her on Hacks. Do you watch Hacks? Meg Statler.
Wait, hi, gay.
Yeah.
What's her name? Kim, or what's her fucking name?
Meg Statler.
Yeah. No, I didn't know she was. I don't think I knew she was an actress. I just thought she was.
She's on Hacks, and she is delicious in Hacks.
Yeah.
Yes. Watch Hacks.
Okay.
Yeah.
I trust you on that.
Funny show.
What's it on?
Max.
Oh, okay. Hex on
Yeah.
Max. Got it.
Jean Smart. She plays a legendary female comedian who takes on a young actress who's like her or young comedian. They become a writing duo.
Well, we are 2 minutes into this, and I'm already getting read by Sophie Dophie. Where's the cuter Steven? He can't be here today. Sorry, you're so
okay. Also, Leroy's track record. Yes, scene. Yeah. What's going on?
My God. If you are tuning in, be sure that you smash that like. And if you are not yet subscribed, be sure that you hit the subscribe button. And if you'd like to support the channel even further, you can always send a super chat. Oh, do we need some ears? Oh, I don't know.
Yes. How many ear choices do we have?
Might be too big for my.
Do you have like a set of Cara Maria ears attached to gloves?
Oh my God, I wish I did. No, I do have a crown, but I can't. I do have a little but it's just a wig.
Sure, it's giving me very Princess Peach vibes.
I am.
Yes.
Hello.
Save me, Mario.
Okay, so the episode. We'll just start off where it starts off. One thing I just picked up on was that I guess each star winner is the one who does the recaps each episode, because the first time it was Steve, and then we had a Tina one. This time it was Rachel.
Right. I was like, but Tina did one, but Tina did win a star. You're totally right.
After she was in the bottom 3 times.
Yeah, don't need as long of a recap, but it's happening.
I'm surprised you don't skip it.
I should, but I watch it just to hear Rachel's VO. You know, her talk about last week, how she failed that domino challenge. I connected.
I forgot that was the dominoes last week. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I told you how much I can remember.
Yeah, those challenges not important to Steven.
That's why I hope you picked up on this one, because I mean I got it.
Yeah, I got it.
I mean I got it, but
you didn't get it. Sure. It's like not till they're down in the sand does Steven really start paying attention.
And I mean, and thankfully this elimination lasted 3 days. So
oh my God. Yes. Can't wait to discuss that too.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I just got done rewatching. I'll get my notes out. Okay, the opening song, one of my faves. Who's that girl?
The music this whole season has been crushing it. They spot on.
And you know, I'm hoping maybe, just maybe, for the Challenge 40, they can hire that person. I don't know, because I feel like that's an iconic season, you know, do it.
Sure. Well, I feel like it's part of the different vibe that they go for between All
Mhm.
Stars and regular. Regular's a little more serious, a little more button up.
But you mean to tell me you're gonna throw Katie into that house and think you're gonna get
God, I love Katie. I hope she. I don't wish harm on anyone, but watching her smack her face against things is like one of my greatest challenge. Just like it cracks me up every single time. Right into the
Sophie
water.
Dopey? No, I'm not auditioning for Drag Race. But I was thinking So You Think You Can Dance.
Ooh,
Just
love
maybe.
it. Vote for you.
Thanks.
I also love the jump transition. That was super cool. Where they all jumped up and then it transitioned to them jumping down at the challenge.
Yeah.
was great.
I saw on Twitter someone said they're like, what is this High School Musical thing they're doing? Like they and I'm like, you
it
know
was
what?
so cute. You know what? I'm here for it. It like reminds me of old challenge.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
They did cutesy stuff like that, and I like it.
They also used to have eliminations with fly swatters, and like
yeah, the blindfold one was that one.
Yeah.
What a ridiculous
honestly,
challenge!
I would
they
give
talked
anything
about stupid for this elimination, but that one was dumb too.
Or I wish we could get something like Katie smoking a cigarette while on a treadmill, like something like.
Yeah. Who is that against? Like a DM or a Nisa or something like that?
I think it was against Julie.
Season. Okay.
Something
what a bad bitch moment. What a bad bitch moment. Katie. Yeah. Fantastic.
Okay, so starts off, I thought it was funny. You got Rachel, Veronica, and Ryan talking about that they don't really feel bad. Rachel doesn't really feel bad for taking Tina's star because she won a star after not winning an elimination and being in the bottom 3 times in a row. I'm like, okay. You're doing go girl, give us nothing. But I mean, that was what it was, which I couldn't believe. I'm like, was that really just last episode? Okay.
Yeah, action-packed episode. And it just was the result of like her wanting to play it safe, I think, which was fine. I mean, I guess a bit her in the ass in the end, perhaps.
Yeah, it just might have. Okay, there's been because my next note, there's a lot to this, especially online with Cam. There's been a whole lot of commotion with this, and I don't know.
The like, if you're not with me, you're not with me vibe.
Cam and Nicole are talking like about Cara, and Cam says Cara and Rachel absolutely cut a deal, and if I'm not in on this, and that means I'm against it. But
if you're not in on an alliance, then you're against that alliance. Listen, Miss Cam plays a tight game and she wants to like run with a crew. And I'm not mad at her for that, but it forces people to choose a side faster than I think a lot of these vets wanted to. I think a lot of these people wanted to play just a let's stay back game, and Cam's kind of forcing the issue here.
Well, sometimes you need an enemy in the house for one. Like in the game, you need some like
short-term targets are great in the like Ayana and Janelle. When the house has tunnel vision, they go for people. They're great, but at a certain point in time, alliances are going to start having to play, and it feels like no one's really talking alliance. Like we don't have a great sense of who's working with who yet on this season. We know obviously Rachel and Veronica and Tina are working together, but it feels like a lot of murkiness around who everyone else is working with.
Yeah, because I guess it's more, the relationships that we do know about.
Sure.
And then any new ones I don't really see.
Like, it feels like everyone's sort of stepping back and waiting to see where the alliance forms almost. And Cam drew a line in the sand at voting last episode. And then she's like, do you want to cross my line in the sand? And it feels like she almost, well, she got her answer almost.
I mean, like, I couldn't tell you who Laurel's working with besides Nicole. And
is she working with Nicole? Because not at the beginning they weren't working. They couldn't fucking stand each other day one. When they saw each other in the airport, they couldn't even look at each other, Steven.
Yeah, apparently. Well, I heard when Cara Maria went on to Brad, or no, not Brad. Oh my God, went on to. Sorry, that's all I can think about right now. When Cara Maria did Johnny Banana, when she did Johnny Banana's podcast, she said that in the airport, Nicole went straight up to her and said, and was just kind of like looking for her for comfort because she saw Laurel at the airport. I'm like, you went up to Cara?
Sure.
Cara like you? Like,
exes make strange bedfellows.
I guess. Like, what the hell? But okay, we'll go into the daily because I thought this was, for one, I mean, how has this never been something they've done before where they like reference an old like an old daily, which I feel like that's what maybe you should do that for all of the All-Star dailies, you know?
Yeah, it was cool. I like the two parts of it. I think clearly untangling seemed to be, by the editing, the more challenging part. We didn't see like much of the maze, but I think they had probably mostly figured that out by the time they had untangled.
That's the part that I couldn't understand. I'm like, what did the maze have to do with
they got untangled, and then once they were like in a row, like string 1, string 2, string 3, string 4, they moved the maze across and then like pulled out some.
Was it one peg or did each one have a peg?
No, it was like one peg that you moved, and then the next person, like person 2 had to move it, person 3 had to move it, person 4 had to move it. And that was clearly, they didn't really show that in the editing, but I think the race was really down to how fast you could get yourself upgraded from that not braid, whatever it was. Who went to Boy Scout camp? Girl Scout camp? You went to Girl Scout camp, right, Stephen?
Absolutely not.
Friendship bracelet.
Absolutely not. I thought the untangling was so funny though. Like a lot of the okay, well, first off, 4 teams of 5. I don't know how I felt about that.
That's
just a lot of,
and we never know how they're chosen this season. Which, do we know if this one was a team captain again? Because I think last time we knew that they had picked.
Yeah, I don't think. No, maybe they just had that was something they had to chop out. I really don't know.
I mean, you'd think that it was somehow picked because Ryan and Derek were on the same team, on the winning team, weren't they? I think they were.
Wait, I have it in. Yeah, they were.
Yeah,
with Laurel, Cam, and also Steve. But it said so. It was 4 teams of 5, and second place is the middle group. I'm like, that's a small amount of people.
Middle group.
Very small. I thought that was a weird way of going about it. I don't know. I guess that with the amount of people they had left, they have 20 people left. There's
how was chopped
can't tangle 10 people up.
Well, and you can't only have one team in the bottom if it's just a women's elimination because those 2 women are up for elimination.
And speaking of that, we've had 3 episodes. We've had 3 back-to-back women eliminations. I mean, Janelle's doesn't count, but give them a break. My God, 3 in a row. I'm like, okay, that's what we're doing. Oh, you know what? That could make sense for why they needed a double last week, because they needed exactly 20 people for this daily. If they had that plan, because
who knows? I mean, I feel like you could adapt it for the number of people you have. But
3 teams of 7.
Maybe not.
You could have 3 teams of 7,
which is a something that we're going to bring up when we get to the elimination, adapting something to the situation
Right.
you have. Yeah.
I feel the exact same way. So some fun. Okay, there was a lot of good quotes from this daily though. Jasmine definitely won confessional queen for the
Yes,
episode.
absolutely.
Easily. Oh my
She killed
God.
it. It was her episode, and I
It
was
really
here
was.
for it.
It really
Yeah,
was her
she
episode.
had a good arc.
As she says, it's just sand and dust everywhere. I've got titties in my mouth, feet everywhere, butts everywhere. I'm about to see Jesus, so I better say my eulogy at this point. Then we've got Veronica. Ow, my vagina! Like, I couldn't imagine actually doing that though. Like just being like,
Yeah,
like 5 people like wrapped.
Yeah,
like
rattling
5
around.
40-year-olds like wrapped around.
A bunch of dirt everywhere. Like at least 2 members of your team going in the exact wrong way that you need them at any point in time, because that's how it works when you get a bunch of challengers in a closed space. I mean, it was hard to like really steer the people, it felt like, in this challenge.
I don't know what kind of strategy I would like. I guess I have no idea, because one person can't be like a leader, and not while you're moving on a semi.
I don't know. I wonder what made that one team work better. It was a little hard to tell from the editing, sort of, if there was any strategy to it. It seemed hard though.
Oh yeah. And the only confessional we got from Flora, which I'm pissed about because that's my confessional queen for the season, but this was Jazz's episode. But she says, I end up upside down and Veronica's ass and vagina are in my face. Except she didn't say vagina. They had to bleep that out, but I could lip read. Yeah, pink team wins. God, we're talking about a lot of pink.
Get it, Team Pink. Yes, all our homosexuals. Derek,
oh my God. Holy
Ryan.
shit. A gay majority. Wow.
Yeah.
The gays are just like doing it this season.
Yes, ma'am.
They really are. Yeah, and I mean, also like I'm happy to see just Derek and Ryan
getting wins, showing up.
Well, them not being like, I mean, a lot of the times you'll see like the gays
they
are
get targeted.
Yeah, like easily.
Sure.
But
absolutely.
Yeah, no, I'm glad they made it past 2 episodes.
Yeah. And I think they have one of the more well-established alliances in the house, which is helping them. They kind of know a few, like they know they're working with themselves and quite a few women in the game.
I mean, yeah, who's gonna? I don't
like definitely Jasmine is working with them. I feel like Brandon's kind of working with them.
Well, apparently, like, I mean, Derek and Jasmine are from the same season, but
they are same.
But I don't see him having her back like he would have like Janae's back, and like I don't think it's
absolutely. Well, but you've got to form an alliance with the people you're in the house with, and
yeah,
they can work to get out some of these stronger players, which they did.
Yeah, I wonder if there had been if either Cara or Rachel, like if only one of them had been in the losing team, I think it would be a completely different story. Like as far as the elimination.
But okay, things to remember though, there are only 3 people on this season that have won multiple seasons. Do you know all 3 of them?
Veronica, Cara, not Laurel. No, Laurel's only
Rachel, number 3.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So and I think the house has decided that clearly Cara and Rachel are 2 of the biggest threats. Now, Veronica sitting at 3 has the most wins in the house, but I think we've seen her wine consumption. Like people are not treating Veronica like a threat. And you know what? I'm here for Veronica like to turn it on and like get a W. Like nothing would make me happier. And I feel like at the very end, like TJ was like, it doesn't matter who you are, you could still win this challenge.
Right? When
Yeah,
he
so
when
I
he
was
said
like,
that,
is this a wine drinking competition at the end? Because
she did
Veronica
finally have
will
her
slay
glass.
everyone. Yeah.
She did finally
Yes.
have her glass of wine made an appearance finally.
Twice.
That
at least.
I didn't think anything of when he said that, but now I am. And it kind of makes sense. I mean, it really does. Like, look at the star holders right now. Like,
sure,
it's just it's kind of
random.
comical to me. Like, Cara Maria, sure, Jasmine
Yeah.
and Veronica.
But I don't know. There's been a lot of conversation. We've had a lot of conversation. Like, is it advantageous to have a star at the beginning or at the end? And honestly, I think it really just depends on how strong of a player you are at this moment. Because now, sort of, basically, the people that are not Cara Maria and Rachel, who are afraid to run a final against them, which I get, I'd be afraid as fuck to run a final against either of those ladies, realize that when those two are on the bottom, they can get rid of a strong competitor. I mean, because even if Laurel doesn't have a star later on, if Laura and Cara are in the bottom together, well, who in your right mind in that house is not going to put them into an elimination together?
I mean, yeah, honestly.
Who do we think? Okay, don't you think Rachel and Cara, probably at the beginning of the season, aren't you evaluating them as the biggest threat? Are you evaluating anyone higher? Tony time?
Well,
Jay?
let's say Laurel would have. Let's say, hey, I'm
he's improving
here for Jay.
Yeah, good trajectory. Happy with the trajectory.
Yeah. But had Laurel won one of those initial stars, I think it would be a totally different story.
You're saying Laurel would have been the first targeted instead of Cara?
Well, maybe not the first, but she would be seen almost as equal as Rachel and Cara.
Sure. I just feel like those two, just like in terms of physicality, have shown up this season. I mean, they have been crushing it on the physical endurance challenges. And that is, if it is a long final, you do not want to see either of those ladies running up a mountain in front of you, getting away from you.
And so I think that also it brings up another point that because it's only one winner, like what Brandon had said, he had said at one point saying, there's only one winner. I'd put my money on Cara and Rachel before I bet on myself.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's kind of I'm never a fan of a single winner season. I think you need to have one male, one female. But
I mean, Cara is the only single season. I guess now Emmanuel is the second single season winner. Oh, Turbo's won a season by himself.
Yeah. Oh, and All-Star season 1. Yes.
Okay.
That's a weird mix of
So only one female, actually.
Yeah.
Cara's the only one. She was the first, but then went on to be the only one.
Emmanuel. Okay.
Yeah. Should have been Nurse.
Cool.
Justice for Nurse. I mean, sure. She's great, though. Fantastic. Ready for her to be a winner.
We'll see. Okay, so yeah, Laurel did win free agents, but they should have made, if any season was going to be a single winner season, I feel like that should have been one.
Oh, was it male winner, female winner? Who's the male winner?
I'm pretty sure it was either Johnny or it was Jordan.
Was that the season that Zach died on a mountain and Laurel was like, man up, dude?
I think so.
That was beautiful.
Yeah,
she was like,
so.
You're killing my chances of winning. She like berated him. It was like classic old school, like Kenny or Wes yelling at Casey. And it was just so funny.
See, I'd been thinking this whole time that Laurel had 2 wins. I thought it was free agents and exes, but now I realize I was confusing her and Jordan being, I was confusing her with Sarah Rice for because didn't they won? But
Sarah's
were
won
they?
at least twice.
Yeah. Well, kind of.
no, she still won. She didn't win any money, but she won the challenge.
Wait a minute. Then I think I've asked William this before, but do you consider Hunter a winner?
Sure. He like
I don't because that screen said winner. Ashley.
Well, I guess I don't know. Like kind of. He won as a team, and then there was an option. So I guess to steal, and I guess the same thing happened to Sarah. Do you consider her only a one-time winner? Neither Hunter nor Sarah got that win. I feel like they got that win. They didn't get the payday.
Well, the difference with that, Sarah and Bananas won. Well, there really is no difference because TJ.
Because then they were like, but then it came down to individual bullshit or something like that. And so you can choose to take the money or fuck them over.
Which
was Millionaire Mitchell's Vendettas? That was the one she won with Hunter?
No, Final Reckoning, my favorite season.
Final Reckoning. Okay.
That was when Cara Maria was with my favorite Marie.
Sweet Baby Marie, yes.
Oh, did she win Champs versus Stars?
I don't remember Champs versus Stars.
I don't either. Well. And I think she's only
Tony Time did.
Did he? I don't remember that at all.
He and like CT won one. I think like Emily maybe won one. And I think every time
the Champs
and the Stars were separated, the Champs always won and the Stars ate it because the Champs played like challenge players and the Stars played like the Real Housewives on Traders. They're like, I'm not a game player.
That's right, but she did win with Darrell because that was like a full circle moment because they were originally first out on her first season, and then that's right. Give me 1 second. Hold on 1 second.
Hey, friends.
Okay, so we move into the club scene. And I love this song. It was I like your boom boom down. I love this. The music was killing it. Oh, also shout out to 311 All Mixed Up playing because I love that song as well. Oh, I skipped a part. Okay, Laurel and Nicole. This little chat.
Laurel in her towel and Nicole.
She's like, I think you have a gray hair.
Sure. Like, well, they're not flirting, Steven. They would never flirt. No. Didn't she say that? She's like, I'm not here to like flirt or like pay attention.
I hate talking about feelings. I'm like, no shit. She says, this is not the time for feelings. But deep down, I know something is there. And that was so weird. Like they talking about like they're so attracted to each other. But then when they're talking about like the breakup, Nicole is such a fuckboy. Like
sure.
Her response
do well on F-Boy Island.
I loved her response. She just says, I don't have words. I'm like, no shit. Like, no shit. We see that. I've never heard legit words come out of her mouth, but
what a weird place they're at. And here's the thing, though. I love a showman's. I'm like here always for a re-hookup on the challenge. What I will say about these like real people in this situation is that what a weird pressure cooker it has to be in this house with your ex, like under these conditions. Like that's got to be just so nutso. And like for it to, because it won't be a thing, is what they said at the beginning of the season. But like, it's clearly a thing. It's never not a thing when you're living together.
He said, we don't talk. And like show them in the kitchen, like not talking to each other. And I'm like, no.
They avoided each other for like a full 48 hours before gravity found each other. It was just like they pulled them together.
I'm like, I guess you could use Tony leaving as an excuse, but I'm like, not really. Like,
if that's her emotional support, I hear it.
I guess so. I don't know. I'm curious to see how that plays out because Nicole's kind of getting a good edit right now. And
yes. Are there any showmances that we're not seeing that you know about?
Well, I don't know if Adam and Avery has happened yet. Like in this,
Okay,
like,
but we know that it
I mean, I just saw.
has happened since the show was aired.
Oh, I just saw a photo today of
Them
Avery
with
Avery
kids.
with him with 2 kids. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, they move fast.
Well, except for they don't because of how long ago this was. Teehee.
God, that means they have been together for a minute. That's wow. Okay.
And I guess like just quietly not talking about it. If they start, but who knows when they started? We don't.
Oh my
know
God, I wonder if
the
that means. I
dates.
wonder if she's still working at Hooters. Yeah, no, they did. They definitely planted seeds. Once that Wonder Woman comment came out, yeah.
Still hated it.
What you say? You still hated it?
I hated it. Yeah, what a weird. It came from a nice place, but it came out really weird.
Okay, I agree with that. Okay, the club scene. This is when Jazz just starts. I mean, she took the bull by the horns. Like I think she got her outcome. She was the one who made this all happen. She was like, no, this is what we're doing.
Sure. Well, it's nice because like that group came together and they were like, we don't have clear alliances right here. Well, when it's only 5 people, you can really control that vote.
Like so hard.
Yeah.
5 people. You need 3 people to just be on
one
board.
side. And that's it. And they got it. They got more because Tina threw in the same 2.
I'm shocked that Tina is not. Well, I don't know. I feel like there's a little bit. I think Tina's just gotten a little more relaxed in her life. I mean, like she says, she's got a nice house. She's got a pool, no kids, doesn't have to work. But like, I would think that she would, I don't know, pop off a little more to Jasmine, but Jasmine's a mighty mouse.
Sure.
I just love, can I
wouldn't
finish?
fuck with either of them
At all.
No. But there's a lot of ladies I wouldn't fuck with in this house.
Oh my God. Actually, yeah. Like none of them.
Yeah, you can't cross any of them. It puts you on thin ice.
My God. Like, yeah, honestly, think about like Ayana, like any of them, maybe Avery, but you just look at her boobs and be like, hey.
Yeah, exactly. Kim Petras knew it.
My Coke. I love loves it. I loved Veronica's confessional. She says, maybe Tina can save her 2 best friends. Do we think it's possible? No. Tina sucks.
I mean, Tina is terrible at politicking, but Tina is such a bull in a china shop, and it is what makes her such great television. But she can't not be Tina. That's like asking the sky not to be blue.
But I'm like, where's the Tina that was punching Beth in the face?
Well, that Tina was also a bull. That Tina literally rammed her fist into Beth.
You're not wrong.
Kind of surprised she's allowed back, but happy about it.
You're not wrong. I mean, you can punch someone, but don't tweet anything.
Right? Exactly. That'll get you off. Bye. Don't put it in writing on the internet, folks.
At all. Okay, so they go. The club scene happens. All you really see is, so Jemmy said something on her podcast that kind of made sense to me. It was just like something that I didn't really ever think of, but the club scene that happens on every episode of every challenge, apparently that is where you can really tell what's going on. Who's talking to who, how long they're talking for. That's where you really discover like who's working with who. And
Sure.
I guess not so much in the house, because that's like your time to just hang out.
Well, you're like lounging around and the house is big. The club is like what? 3 rooms? Like, I mean, we've all been to a club before. It's like, and isn't the club empty but the cast?
Yep.
At this point? So There's 20 people in this club. It's easy to see where people are going. If someone is sitting over at a table with 3 other people for 5 minutes, for 10 minutes, that's pretty noticeable.
Yeah, I guess
I get
I
it.
never picked up on that, but
Sure.
and
Well,
that's
and
why you
it's,
see in
I think, a product of post-COVID, though, because I feel like when it was a club and it was a public club still, we were just like going to the club. Like it was a little more frenetic. It was a little more chaotic. Like when there was 100 other people at the club and like, some girls dancing with this dude and like Nani's making out with some
Nani.
dude. Yeah, right.
Did you just say
Exactly.
Nani? Did you just say
Yeah,
Nani?
yes, yeah. Like that scene. Nani's making out with someone. He's from the cast, and it's hot.
Oh
Yeah,
my! He literally
exactly.
said
It's way
Nani.
easier to go like sit in a corner for like 5 minutes and like smoke a cigarette with someone. And now you're like, oh, those 2 went out on the balcony.
Oh my god!
I hear it, Jemye. I love her. Jemye.
Good.
Jemye, yes.
Okay, so I have to share my screen for this one because I didn't notice it at first, and then I had to. You can't screenshot, so I had to take a photo of my television because Paramount Plus won't let you screenshot. But my God, when they show, I'm like, y'all are showing Brad snoring, but you're leaving out the most important part.
They didn't.
Like, I mean, they didn't, but that was like a little, what you call it? That was a little Easter egg. Well, it was a little more than an Easter egg, I'll say that. But let's just take a look.
Let's just go to the receipts. Brad he's tired in daylight.
Well, Jemmy said that his snoring is like out of control, but I can't make it any bigger. Can we all see his
Brad is packing heat? Sure.
But I knew that because I mean, do you recall the scene from his original Real World season of San Diego where he says he's got 8 inches and Robin's like, I don't believe you. And in the kitchen, he pulls it out. He pulls it out and Robin's
I
like,
never watched that season, but I love Robin.
Oh my gosh. She said she can confirm. And I'm like, so I've been known he's had a schlong.
Sure. And then the 2 homos saw it and they got the giggles.
I have to look into my screen. You can really see it. My God. And is that lotion sitting next to his bed down there? Yeah. Thank you, Brad. We appreciate you for that.
And a cup of tea? Question mark.
That was my favorite. That was my favorite part. Brad is the Casey of the season and shocking Steven speaking about penises. I mean, it was right in my face.
We were cute to look at it. The show wanted us. It was a pro boner edit. That was stupid. Sorry.
I mean, I wonder if that even was a boner or not. I wonder what he was.
Oh, we bring out the experts. Let's get Robin on here and we will discuss it.
Oh my God. Now, hell, we could just have Derek or Ryan tell us. I mean,
sure.
I mean, I know they saw it.
Yes.
I mean, that was just like the small little scene before they go back to like any bit of like game talk. And I'm like, thank you for that.
To whet Steven's appetite.
I mean, this has been a very like sexual innuendo season. I mean, that like Steve with the hand jobs that I'm like, hey, I'm all here for that. Okay, so there is a scene where it's almost like the middle group is like pre-gaming the nominations, but without Tina. It's just the 4 of them.
Sure, because they know they can control the vote without her.
Yeah, and that's what Jazz just straight up Cara Rachel. And I mean, Jay kind of makes a good point though. He's like, I'm not going to say Kara's name because I want someone strong like her to have my back in the game. I'm like, yeah. Like I would do exactly what he did. Say one of the names, don't say both. Like you don't have to. Like especially if
Well,
there's
no,
4
but
people
3
voting that
people
way.
do. Sure.
Exactly. So I would do the
He,
exact same thing.
I mean, but you can't because if too many people had hedged their bets, they wouldn't have gotten Rachel Cara, which all of them wanted, which Jay wanted. He didn't want to vote Cara, but he wanted that. Like no one even threw out Flora. Like that wasn't
I
even
think
a
somebody did.
discussion point.
I think there was
Oh,
one vote
someone burn vote Flora, but was that Jay's burn vote? I think it was Jay's.
I think it
burn
may
vote.
have been, but I do remember seeing 4 names on the screen. I can't remember who.
But like she had never been discussed. Like because I feel like who was at risk? Was anyone really even considered beyond Cara and Rachel?
No.
Veronica was at risk. She was, I feel like, never talked about. Nicole was at risk. She was never talked about. Flora was at risk. She was never talked about. We had 5 ladies up for elimination, but it really felt like the conversation had just like narrowed in because the 5 middle group people got to pick. And
That's
4 of them
wild.
could find common ground. I mean,
That's so wild to me.
and listen, how do you feel about what Brandon did? Like voting for Cara?
Like badly. Like I feel like you don't really see. I've never really seen some like Cara in this kind of well, I mean, you've seen. I mean, she's had a lot of seasons. I mean, you've seen her like get soda poured on her head by Wes, which I can't believe that ever happened.
Right?
I can't believe
Was
something
that
like
fresh
that.
meat one?
No, it
Was
wasn't
there fresh
because
meat?
no, because Cara went out first on her freshman. I think it was like it was either like an X's season. It was a couple more after that.
Wait, that was Cara and Darrell going out first on their X's season or the fresh meat season?
On the fresh meet. Yeah, Cara was
Right.
first eliminated, which
Right.
I'm like,
And that's the full circle moment on
yeah.
whatchamacallit, Champ Stars.
But I mean, Ace is definitely riding for Cara because he doesn't really like speak up much, but he straight up told her, he's like, no, I think it's going this way. Like you might want to go say something. And Cara like goes and talks to Brandon, and Brandon's like, oh, we haven't talked yet. Like that should have been a clear sign right there. I would have tried to do some sort of like damage control or something right then and there.
Or well, like I feel like you can go into the game with relationships, but you cannot assume that a relationship means an alliance in the game. And I feel like there are a lot of those assumptions going on in the house. We're close outside. We had the same starting season. But if you're not talking game in the game, are like kind of to Cam's point, if I'm not in your group, aren't I part of the other group?
And I think that's kind of where like a like rival will come from, or like any kind of beef. It's like when you do think you have this relationship and then you see that you don't. And I think that's what's happening. And I felt so bad for Cara, and I think she kind of knew it when she said to like, this was like before they actually did the nominations. And Cara says to Brandon, well, I know you, Jay, and Jazz won't say my name, so I'm good. I just rode hard for Jazz.
Did she
Like,
just ride hard for Jazz? When did she ride hard for Jazz?
She's saying that, but I guess it would have been when she had the potential of going in last week, maybe the week before. Like episode 3 or episode 2.
Okay, episode 2, the one with Janelle.
Yes, that was an
Janelle quit. Yeah, but no, I feel like that never happened because it was like Tina, Janelle, and then Janelle quit. So like no one, it wasn't. I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe
that
she
part's a little.
said, don't vote for her. I'm not voting for her. But does that mean I'm riding with you because you didn't vote for someone? It's kind of like because in this game, you're casting your ballot against someone. And you it's a hard move for me to be like, I didn't vote against you, therefore I had your back. I get the gameplay. I get why you say it because it's true. You have not crossed them, but if you're not riding with someone in the game, you can't be surprised when they call out the two strongest people in the game.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely get that. Like, just because you don't say someone's name, it's like that's not riding hard for.
Well, and clearly she's not riding with anyone because if she'd gotten a star and she was riding with someone, wouldn't she have just given them the star? Like,
Well,
if she was truly riding with someone, she would have given that person the star right then.
Well, I mean, she did this episode.
Well, I mean, she like thought she got her revenge on Jazz, but I am actually not super convinced she did.
Well, I've seen a lot of discussion on what the. It's such a tricky.
It's
like
this whole
system
mental game of does having a star make you a target, but it's really like the mental game of everyone in the house, no? Because, okay, take a step back. You do not need to beat a star holder to get a star. You just need to win an elimination to get a star. So,
correct.
all I'm saying is if Kara and Rachel didn't have a star but ended up in the bottom on this one, do we think it would have gone any differently? And I don't think so because they are the two people with 2 wins and Veronica. But
It's so wild.
they are so strong by themselves. I feel like the star is kind of a bit of an illusion because it'll matter at the end. But for right now, even because she was like, this will make Jasmine a target. I think the target is 2 of the strongest players in the game, individuals, because I don't think there was a stronger man than either of them in this house.
No,
Were up for elimination. Man, I'd shit myself if I didn't put them both in the bottom. Like, what a poor game move that you have the 2 strongest individual players in the game not to put them up against each other.
Yeah, exactly. I think you're so right. I didn't think about it like that. That the star really is an illusion. Like straight up, it's kind of like a what you call it, a smoke screen maybe. It's just like it's there.
It's like a homing beacon almost, and people are letting it be that. But like from a game perspective, you can rig it to go against like Laurel can make sure if she wins the right week, go against Jasmine in a pole wrestle or something like that. Like, I mean, if you win it and you see an easy opponent who doesn't have a star, you can go in and get your star because you can steal it from anyone. So having a star,
Laurel could do that. Steal one from Kara, give it to Nicole. But what do you think the best thing to do would be? I think it would be
the best
since
thing to do about what?
Well, as far as like when to get your star, because
yeah, tricky question.
Would it be because you don't that there's 6 people going in the final, but you don't quite know who's going to be left. Like I think like if you were to go into the last elimination, that's probably the most like opportune time to get your star, but you also don't know who's going, like if that's your plan this far in advance, you don't know who's going to be left for you to go against, and you could have fucked yourself over.
Yeah, well, and I feel like we have this in Gold Skull seasons where people really fight to get in at the beginning to get a Gold Skull, and then really you want to like wait it out for a few weeks because they're sort of the people that weren't able to control the house enough to get their skull. But you've kind of got like a little bit more of like mid-tier characters, mid-tier players left. And I don't know, it just like when's the time to get it? We're not playing, we don't know, but it feels like something that when the right opportunity comes, you have to take it, but you have to like let the game play itself and not fight to get it. Because I feel like, because even at the end, you will still have an opportunity. Like before the final, there's going to be an elimination. Like it's not going to be like there will be 8 people there and TJ's going to be like, you don't have a star, see ya. Like, is that really going to happen?
That's what I think the original like Skull season, like the first time that they, like for what was that? Total Madness. It was Total Madness and Free Agent or Double Agents that they did the Skull Twist. That's what they should have done. Like,
did they didn't cut anyone. They let everyone who had a skull.
Exactly. I'm like, if you're gonna do that, like have like basically have like a purge to where like, well, you didn't do it.
Won't that work the same on this season though? I just don't think it's gonna be like
no, because you know exactly how many people are gonna be in the final. You know it's 6. So you know
exactly. But do you think we're gonna get to 8 and he's gonna be like, bye, you're done, you don't have a star, you're out?
No, just because of the way that the Skull seasons worked out,
right.
I don't see
you will always have an opportunity at the end of the day. I mean, I think when we're getting down to like 10 people, you want to have a fucking star, but like we're at 20. There's going to be, I mean, only 2 original star holders have their star.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, well, I don't really like, why go down now?
How many star holders?
Because I didn't think
Rachel. Is she our only star holder to go home?
Yes. Well, yeah, who had a star during the elimination because that was because that's why Kara said, do I get to keep them both?
Yeah, well, wouldn't that be nice? I mean, that would actually be what a legit like kind of Rachel deserved to do it. You should be able to bank a star if stars are able to be stolen in this game. I kind of support that.
I would do too. And then maybe you can,
But otherwise, you don't really need a star until you need a star at the end. And because you can go against anyone and get your star. I mean,
when you bring that part up, you just have to win an elimination, period.
I was so excited for this matchup. Like, as a fan of the challenge, I'm like, Cara Maria versus Rachel. I don't eat popcorn, but let's pop some. Like, and like get the show on, because Clash of the Titans right here. Like 2 challenge greats going at it. And then we give them the challenge that we give them. Ludicrous.
Well, I want to give a shout out for, so during the like actual nominations, Tina did one thing that I'm like, I don't know why I've never seen this in any type of like deliberation nominate, like any season of the challenge, to where like Avery says, what are you thinking, Tina? And Tina says, I'm not going first. Like, I've never seen that be the case, like as far as voting order. Like, I think that was perfect. I'm like, I'm not going first. I'm not going to be the first one to do it.
Okay, here's my only question. If you're Tina, do you know one? Okay, well, I have to ask another question. Does Tina know what's happening? Does Tina know what's happening walking into this deliberation? Does she know Cara and Rachel are taking the vote?
I mean,
she does, right?
I think she does, because of what Jasmine said at the during the club scene. I think so.
So, okay, here's my only thing on Tina. I feel like you know that your alliance is about to get broken up. Cast your vote first. Like, it is so much easier to say a
That's
name
a good point.
that has already been said on the challenge. We have seen that time and time again, where a burn vote picks up enough steam, and then and teachers like, guys, this is why I tell you, don't do a burn vote, and it's beautiful and delicious. But once a name's been said, it's easier to say it. So
and look what she did.
You right,
and look what
and then Tina ends up saying Rachel's name, which was. Like why? But I get it. I don't. I see why
I do, but
upset,
I don't.
But I don't either but get out in front of it. Like Tina should have cast the first vote because Jay was on the fence about something. Like maybe she could have appealed to Brandon. Like been like, that's your homie.
That's who. Yeah, Jay. Yeah, exactly. She could have gone first. And Jay would have said, well, I'm not voting for Cara because I think he's the one who did Flora and Rachel.
Yeah.
And then you could have persuaded Brandon, like, you're not about to throw your number one.
Because you just get one more vote then. Like, I mean, Jasmine's not changing. Who else was
Avery
voting? Avery could have changed because Avery was like, who wants to make a deal at the table, basically. I mean, she put out that vibe. No one really did, but it was kind of like does anyone want to play with me? I feel like vibe. Did you get that?
Yeah, no, I definitely did because she was like, I want to make a move. Like, yeah, absolutely.
So I feel like once you make a move too, what a good crew to rock with. I mean, not Tina, but like the four people is a really good voting block.
And shout out to BZ Leonard for the first super chat of the night. The star is so confusing. You're so right. They need some clarification. But I think that might be like somewhat of the point of it. It's kind of like it's something out there that you can use it one way, you can use it another way, and it's kind of up to how the cast sees it as how it's going to work.
If we saw other seasons, I think they might function a little bit differently, but like clearly here there's like a scarcity mentality because there's only 6 of them, but it's so chaotic where they're going at the beginning. I will be so surprised. I'm not saying that Cara and Adam will not make the final. I'll just be so surprised if either of them make the final having the star they got on episode 1. Because they're the only 2 left with stars from episode 1.
But then it's like, I mean, unless it's for someone to, no one's going to, I'll put it this way. I'll be very shocked unless it's one of the last 2 eliminations, maybe. If
someone comes for Cara star?
Well, more like if anyone from the winning team or duo, whatever, says, I'm going to come down there and get my star. I don't see that happening at all.
I see it happening sooner rather than later. I think we're going to start getting it in like 1 to 3 episodes. Like someone is going to get voted down that someone up top is going to be like, I can, Jasmine is a good example just for her physical height, but like if a Laurel or Cara Maria can go against Jasmine in a physical battle, like you bet your ass. Like,
because and you see what like TJ says in the during the daily, he says something like, yeah, and if you win, you get to I think it was after.
Oh, you get to like hear the explanation and then decide if you want to come down. He's clearly production wants them to do this. And I think people are like still a little hesitant. And frankly, I wouldn't have come in on this episode. I think there was a previous episode where I said Laurel should have gone in for someone. I don't remember what it was. Was that last episode? Was she on the top then? No, she won.
It was the
Tina episode, and it was the one with the ramps. It was an endurance one.
Yeah, and Laurel then they didn't even have to play. Didn't even have to play. Could have just gotten it for nothing.
Yep.
And also, I don't see with the amount of people, I don't see there being a way that you can. Well, actually, I don't know. They could write it out for the whole time because I mean, hell, if there's 8 people left, you could have, let's say there's 8 people left. You could have 2 winners, and then
I think it's possible
have,
there's a twist. That's all I'll say, because I agree. It feels Challenge loves a twist. Challenge loves to change up the format. Like, that is classic Challenge. But for the system that it is right now, I feel like the stars are almost false currency. And we'll see when that happens.
That is a great way to describe it. False currency. Absolutely.
Sure. And okay, like, when someone's going to use it, what if you're a guy and Brad is in the bottom and it's some puzzle? Like, if you are any other person in that house, aren't you saying, yeah, I'm going down in the sand to get my star against Brad in a puzzle?
I feel like for a lot of the challengers, though, the puzzles are so like.
Sure, but Brad's Brad. Like, I mean, yeah, sometimes you can get in a flow, or there's like someone's bad at every puzzle, but like a shape puzzle, and then it's a shape puzzle. Or Michelle's like, I got the puzzle I won Survivor with. Obviously, I'm winning this one.
My God, don't get me started on that one. But yeah, like, I mean, if it's Nicole, because we saw, I think that was Invasion, Nicole and Corey just literally had to like time out because they could not figure out the puzzle, or maybe or was it Matt?
Oh, no. It was, I think it was like count triangles or something like that.
Yes, that's exactly what it was.
There was a bunch of larger and smaller triangles, and watching them was so funny, because like they never got the like big triangle that was the whole puzzle once, like not even once. And so like we were always starting at a disadvantage. It was hilarious.
To answer this question, I wouldn't say they rotate who gets better airtime. It's more so of what's going on, like what's the storyline for this episode, as far as who gets the airtime for, especially for confessionals.
Sure. Well, I mean, but there's 2 parts to this. Like, yes, episode to episode, but like Challenge has heroes of every season. Like, I mean, like very like wrestling. There's like a lot of times there's a like chief hero and a heel. And so there are like heroes of a season, and like they get more confessional time. It was like Miss Morphine Love on the last season of RuPaul's Drag Race. Yeah. It's like, someone that Challenge likes their talking head. Thank you, Miss Jasmine. I love her talking head. So and there are people though that, oh sure, but like we don't see a lot of Adam. We don't see a lot of Ace confessionals. We probably wouldn't see a lot of Leroy confessionals if he wasn't a confessional with Cam. So like they definitely cycle through people, and Tina and Veronica have such good decades worth of drama that come with them that like obviously they will be in there. But like you can watch the confessional count, and like we watch it on Challenge seasons, and like I'm always floored like when Casey is there till the end, but like had way less confessionals than someone who went out halfway or name mentions or something, because she just
all the way down below.
Sure, really able to play kind of like a background game. It was kind of like Emmanuel in the last season.
You must follow. Do you follow Challenge stats?
Oh yeah.
Where have they been this season? Because I don't think I've seen anything from them. I need to take a look at that.
I have not seen much from them this season. I think they put out something at the beginning, but I haven't seen much. So Challenge stats is great though.
I love that account. Well, once the nominations are done, that's when shit pops up. You hear Cara go, "Fucking party, Rachel, let's go." What we're gonna do is give you guys a fucking show. And
I wish they had.
But okay, my favorite confessional of the whole episode is it. This is just how you can tell that the big difference between this show and between All Stars or even like just a Paramount version of the challenge versus the main show with Jasmine. I had to type this out verbatim. All this blah, 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 baby tantrum type of crap. I just want to find a pacifier and stick it in her mouth so she'll shut the fuck up for 2 goddamn seconds and take a fucking nap. Like,
yes, ma'am. She was totally the hero of this episode. This was her episode, her arc.
I don't know that she's ever had.
Love that it's on Paramount Plus where we can have uncensored profanity. Love it. Fantastic.
I would never forget the first time I realized it was in All Stars 1 when I realized, oh my God, we get profanity. It was with Darrell. I'm like, oh my God, this is great. Like it changes everything.
Yeah.
But once okay. I did not like this what Cam said. Says Cara is so entitled, being a big baby and a brat. Last week you didn't have my back, and this week somebody you thought would didn't. It's full circle. It's just not the same. Like that's not the same. That like it would be different. Like saying having Cam's back. Like if Cara were to vote Cam in,
sure,
there's a big difference than not voting Rachel in when you already had the vote.
Right. It's like what we talked about at the beginning, like not voting for someone does not carry as much weight as voting for someone does. And I hear you. I get it. But Cam has she clearly drew that line last episode and she was ready for Cara to step all over it. I mean, I hear you. I agree with the statement, but I see her gameplay and it is, let me create an alliance with you outside of this alliance. Because if she can keep voting numbers, fuck, they can keep on throwing Cara in every week. We've seen that season before. She slaughters everyone, but it's great television.
Yeah, and it's wild. We're getting the Cara underdog. Like I wouldn't say edit, but it's not even an edit. It's exactly what's happening.
Sure.
And yeah,
she doesn't have a strong alliance right now. I could see her winning. I don't know the winner. I'd be happy with her winning.
I don't know that I really see the challenge as doing like Survivor. There's like a Survivor edit that everyone just kind of knows how, like there's been enough, like they kind of get that. But I mean, like look at season 39. Emmanuel definitely did not have a winner's edit.
Yeah, and I think there's a difference too between a hero edit and a winner's edit. Like we've seen that on Challenge before. Because like sometimes you're rooting for Leroy, but Leroy comes in a distant third. Like the show has wanted us to root for Leroy and Nani on whatever season that was. But
yeah, and honestly, no matter what competition show it is, unless it's like RuPaul's Drag Race, maybe, it's just nature. It's second nature to want to root for the underdog. I mean, I always
classic sports trope.
Exactly, but Cara was like so hurt. Like once she found out Brandon like voted for her, she walked away, like started crying, and it wasn't like I didn't think of it as a boo-hoo. Like she was like hurt, like when you're number one, who you think your number one is in the game, and she even says that she's like, oh, that ain't game, like that's personal. And I mean I think it's game to him, it's personal to her.
Sure, but I have trouble sympathizing if she has not talked game with him, which it feels like we don't know what's happening in the house. They could have edited that out, but it feels like Brandon and Cara are not actually playing together. They are there. They are chummy. They're happy.
They have the past relationship, but
which is great. But if you don't say something, it's not something, which I think like is what Cam is sort of calling out. and
Yeah,
perhaps
got a point.
at some points putting her foot in her mouth. But I think she is saying, who has my back? She put that out at the vote. She's saying, you vote my way, you have my back. Because then at least two people were like, I got your back. I mean, that was the start of really an alliance that I think will probably help drive the next few episodes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're kind of right. I didn't think about that.
And it's classic challenge too. If you find yourself after 2 or 3 episodes not an alliance, when we get to mid game, you're on the chopping block, because if the alliance gets big enough, they can control the votes. So I hear you, and I'm not saying it is a tactic to play in challenge, is to draw my line in the sand and then say, if you're not with me, you're against me. It's a bold move, it's a blunt move, but it did have this effect, which, again, I am any challenger in that house that is not Rachel and Cara, I am happy that one of them is gone. Cam said that, right? At the elimination. She's like, it doesn't matter.
She's like,
I'm
there's
not
a
fucking
100%
going in.
chance,
Yeah.
and
A
there's a
challenge
100%
champion.
chance. Yeah. And that part, when she said that, I was like, okay, yeah.
That a 2-time challenge champion is going home tonight. Fucking
Yeah.
done.
Yeah. Yeah.
So unless,
Okay, so
but this is all coming back to, if you're not specifically riding with someone, it's hard for me to be like butthurt that you didn't ride with someone, like that they didn't ride with you when push came to shove.
yeah.
Talk to someone at the start of the game if you want, because like, are Cara and Laurel, it doesn't even feel like they're really riding together.
I mean, well, we could see from the trailer for the season that
No,
I mean,
that they're not.
No.
Which,
but
great. I'm ready. I'll pop more popcorn then.
Okay, so we're at the elimination. Star Slice.
Dexterity challenge, which is okay. I've been ready to discuss this since last night, and here are my feelings on it. So we get this dexterity challenge, and I feel like
I'm sorry, I don't know that word. Dexterity.
Dexterity?
Is that
Bitch,
the
yeah, you do. It's like balance
is that
and like.
I was thinking that this was like what do you like axe throwing? I thought it was very.
Yeah, it's like axe throwing. Yeah, sure, but that's like a dexterity thing.
That's why. Okay, sorry, Laurel, but that is not the same thing as throwing darts to me. I don't see it as that.
Darts is dexterity.
Okay.
I agree. I like darts and I fucking hate axe throwing. So this came on, and William's like, this would be great for me. I'm like, this would fucking suck for me. I think throwing a dart is a much different, you have to do this action basically when you're throwing it. And you need to like have a good trajectory. And I fucking don't. When I've gone axe throwing before, my axes go everywhere but the cardboard wall behind you. Thank God there's all of that netting. No one can walk in front of you. But I was so disappointed as a challenge fan because I knew what it was immediately. And it's like, on the one hand, I like when production is not hands-on. Like, I mean, we all know production's hands-on, but
they claim that they never the eliminations they're already stacked out.
Right. Like, absolutely.
But if you know that you see that Cara and Rachel are going to do it, draw a circle in the sand and drop a pole in the middle.
Sure. And I like do an endurance challenge. I don't need it to be pure physical. That's fine. But like, this could have been an epic elimination. This could have been like a one that we talk about, like a Derek and Joss getting all naked in that mud pit. We talk about it for other reasons, but it was a great elimination nonetheless. Like, this could have been an all-time great with an endurance and a physical. And I agree with you. Fucking, you have 24 hours and they have all of those eliminations set and they can change out the set. Change out the fucking set.
I can understand if maybe like the contraption, like have like a backup in case you do get a
well,
combo,
this week's was a wall. This week's was a fucking wall.
Exactly.
So it could easily be subbed out over a 24-hour period. They could, you're right, they could just put a fucking rope
like
in the sand.
have
It
that
could be
as
that
a
easy.
backup.
But
if it's
we
like
could have
unless
done
if all the eliminations that they have set up are, there's more to it than just that. But that's the thing with a pole wrestle. You don't have to set it up. You just throw it in the middle and draw a circle. And
I think any of them could probably be broken down and taken up within a few hours. So I'm so sad it came down to this because it should have been great. And instead it was like a little silly.
Well, also, so Rachel was on the Official Challenge podcast today, and
oh yeah, hit me.
said
What
that-
did Anissa and Tori tell us today?
Well, Rachel said that during the Ayana elimination, that she like completely popped her shoulder out backwards and had to like put it back in, and that's why you see in the very beginning, when she's sitting on the bed with like Veronica and Ryan. Veronica's like, "Are you icing it?" She's like, "I've got a heat patch on right now."
Oh,
it was because
I
like
didn't
she had
catch
done
that.
that. And it just thankfully was not her throwing shoulder. It's the other shoulder.
Oh, okay.
And so maybe that could be a reason why, like, okay, yeah, no pole wrestle for her, because apparently she had to go and get an MRI. Like they thought she might need surgery. So
okay, but you could do an endurance, put 2 treadmills down there, and say whoever gets the farthest in like
whoever can
6
smoke the
hours
most cigarettes.
wins. Yeah, right. Pull a Katie Doyle. You have to smoke
my
a
God.
whole pack of cigarettes and complete a mile the fastest go. The Katie Doyle challenge. Let's do it.
But I also thought, I'm like, oh my gosh, for these two like beasts, they give them like a comical edit, like with the whole
Sure,
with the glass
absolutely.
breaking.
Well, you couldn't do anything else for how many times they missed. But here's the thing: I have done this activity before, and it is either an activity you get or you don't get. Because I walked in with a group of like 10 people who had never done it before, and like 4 people were firing like just winners all night, and the other 6 of us like could not, like if we got it once in the entire night. And I play darts all the time. It's way different than darts. It's like you've got to get the right torque on it, you've got to get the right trajectory on it, you've got to get the right force on it, the right flick, and it's like you've either got this or you don't. I think the throwing star is probably easier than the axe, just for it weighing so much less. We're probably talking.
Did you also notice that there were 2 different sizes?
Which I didn't really get. Like that went unexplained, I felt like. And maybe that was a rule in the sand that just didn't translate for how poorly they did.
Well, I'm thinking like okay, so let's say you need a higher one. What would the physics be? Would you need a smaller one? Like would a smaller one go farther, or would you need more weight on it for it to go?
I don't know. Like, I'm not really a science person, but it feels like, I don't know. There was clearly some sort of differential in those, and maybe you got to pick and choose, but they didn't get to do a test throw, so it just sort of made the whole challenge.
Rachel said on the podcast, I can't remember exactly what she said, but that's what I didn't even notice it until I rewatched that. She said that for one of the throws, she should have used the bigger one versus the smaller one. And I don't really know what the difference would make with that would be. But okay, shout out to Kifla for saying it looks like Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles are competing against each other right now.
Right. And also Laurel was like, this is just fucking axe throwing. I should have gone down there. That was not fucking axe throwing. It is a different beast.
No, she called it darts. She called it darts.
Oh, darts. Well,
And I'm
that's
like, it's
much harder
definitely
than
not
darts. No, way harder because I can do darts, and
I'm like, well, then I'm
I've
like, okay,
done.
Laurel. I'm like, shut up, Laurel. Like, okay, you saw what the game was. Maybe you should have gone down there.
Well, I mean,
Talk
but
that
there's
shit
sort
to me
of
about
no
it.
way to know how someone does that, like a bar game, though.
Yeah,
Like
this is
you
like
can't
this is the
evaluate someone on that.
But I did like seeing just being able to see like Kara just being able to kind of like let herself be a little goofy. Like right when she does her first throw, she turns around, she's like, "Ooh." Like I did like
She
that
needed that.
Yeah, she definitely did need that because I feel like that is not anything we've seen from her in a while. Like,
Well, and she went in so hot, she like needed to diffuse it because
yeah.
otherwise, like you can't stay hot because she was like bothered at Jasmine. Didn't she call out Jasmine and maybe Brandon, or was it just Jasmine? I feel like a lot of her ire was directed at Jasmine, but frankly, Brandon perhaps deserved more of the ire.
Okay, so the distance was so short, the weight should not have mattered, but heavier would go farther. Okay, so maybe we need that for a higher one if that's more of a I don't know that I don't know what that would I wouldn't know
We
what to
don't
do
know
with
the
that.
strategies, and neither did these ladies, clearly. I mean, I'm just glad that when they hit the like stand on one foot, they didn't have to do that the whole time because I was like,
I was
is she
wondering
really going to
that.
have to stand on her one foot the whole time? That would be fucking stupid, but
But
it was
I
only that one time.
I thought it was interesting though that they weren't all punishments. Like one time, Kara got to go 5 feet
Oh,
closer,
yeah,
and
but
yet
she
it
didn't
still didn't
land
matter.
that shot. Yeah, sure. Because this is one of those dexterity games that either you have the touch or you fucking don't. And the, I I wonder, did Rachel say how long this elimination was?
Oh, she said that they had to re-rack. That the production had to
Oh,
re-rack them.
sure. I'm not surprised at all because they were
But
throwing air balls left and right.
well, it probably took a long time because I have never seen TJ so excited. He was like, "Whoa, car, there it is!" And then when he goes, "Rachel loves it. Rachel loves it. I knew you were gonna go for that one." I'm like, "Who is this?" You could tell, like TJ. This is so different than the main show. Like I've never seen TJ like just kind of like break character. And like
Oh
I know
yeah.
he wasn't being fed that in his ear. Like he was like Rachel loves it. Rachel loves it. I was like, okay, sports, come on. Like but I did I it was so Cara. No, you know what? I was gonna say it was so Cara, but no. What Cara did, I'm like, it reminded me of Ninja. Like when she threw one, she goes and she walks up to it. She's like, yep, no, it's in. Like
Oh, I
it was
fucking know
so
that game. I know that game. When I'm playing darts, like I like to walk up and be like, stare it fucking down. Know
it
that it's my
reminded me
20.
so much of the Ninja versus Laurel. Like,
Yes.
yep, nope. Excuse me. Um, but God, and this was such a anti-Kara thing from Cam. Like all episodes, like she said, whenever it's Kara's turn, it's completely silent. I feel bad for her. She has zero friends in this game, and I'm like, okay, um,
Drawing that line in the sand.
I guess so. But Kara wins.
But if that was true, that does hurt. Like if everyone is not cheering for you, like the whole house is not cheering for you. Do we know? Did you pick up on that? I could see there
I
was a
don't think I really
progression of
saw.
them standing in the back and then like sitting down at a certain point. Like I could tell it was long for that. I wish we got how long it was. Like you remember that
Yeah.
one on All Stars where it was that very skinny white woman that has done well in the past few with the skin. That little twig's name.
Not Kendall.
Kendall. Yeah. There was
Yeah?
one where they were like pulling a rope on a orb or something like that. And she was like,
Oh, yeah.
that took like 2 or 3 hours aside
Yeah.
or something like that. I kind of wish they'd give us some of those because sometimes they do give us like a timer when
Which
it's
is
stuff like that.
rare. I wish they would do that for dailies. My
Sure.
God.
Yeah. How long has that been?
They
Oh, so long. Yeah, I miss timers.
you know what? The only timer we got was when they said, there's about 4 seconds till shit goes down, and they have the 4-second timer of Jasmine going to put the names up. I'm like, oh, we finally get a timer on the challenge. Loves it. But Cara wins and she says, just call me Star Maria. And this is when what I want to know. Okay, so I don't know. For one, okay, I want your thoughts on two things. But for one, should Cara have just kept her strategy of who to give the star to in her confessionals, or should she have done it like out in the open like she did?
What did she say in the confessionals? I don't recall.
She basically said the same thing that she said out loud. Well, okay. She was saying, well, kind of. She said, do I give it to Laurel? She was like, oh, I give it to Laurel. Then she becomes a target. But then, oh, wait, if I do that, it's going to be Rachel versus Cara 2.0.
Disagree. And here's why. Like we've discussed earlier, if Cara and Laurel find themselves in the bottom, you're a fucking idiot for not voting those two into an elimination. I mean, it is a single winner elimination. I don't care if you're a man or a woman. I do not want to go against Cara or Laurel in a final. Absolutely not.
Yeah, and you got a point. Even if she doesn't give it to Laurel, like if
people are going to jump at that opportunity if they're both in the bottom. Absolutely, absolutely. You are a fool of a toque if you don't do that.
Yeah, because I mean, there's not many other people who can beat Cara in an elimination.
Fuck no. And they should be scared of that. And they are. I mean, I'd be quaking in my boots. And look at how she manhandled that hill on the first daily to get that first star. I mean, she tore it up. And Challenge loves making you walk or run, 10, 20 miles during a final. I mean, have we had a challenge final that has been like less than 10 miles in the last decade?
In years.
Yeah. I mean, it's at minimum 10 miles and 10 miles up a hill a lot of times. Cara fucking showed us what great shape she was in to do that. I would shit in my boots to do a final against her. Her puzzle, questionability aside, sure, but just by your physical prowess, shit.
But no, I
would not want to go against them, and I'd put them together in a heartbeat.
Yeah, honestly, if you want to get rid of Cara, I mean, we have seen though that I don't know how many times, because I don't know that we've seen Cara beat Laurel in an elimination, but we've seen. Yeah, I can't remember.
She could do it in a puzzle.
It was when she had a broken hand. I remember that now.
Who had the broken hand?
Cara did in one of them. Like she had an injury, but I think she was like, I don't know if it was broken, but she had an injury and she was trying to play it down. Like if you have an injury on the challenge, apparently, like what they've all said is you don't let production know.
Sure, if they will medical DQ you because they don't want to assume liability.
Exactly, but I did like when TJ said, he was like, well, when she asked, can I have both stars? And he says, no, you must give your star to a woman and make a forever friend. I'm like, oh, okay. But I did love, she said, hey, Laurel, how you feeling? And Laurel was like, I'm okay. How are you? I'm like, oh, this ain't the Laurel that that she tries to make herself out to be. I've been like, I'm great. But then and then she says, and she says, or I could choose Jazz and put a Stargate on her. And Jazz said, you think I'm afraid of a target? Never have been, never will be. Period.
It was great.
But then you get another confession from Cam saying what Kara should have done was give the star to a bigger competitor, but she is not strategic in this game at all. I'm like, I disagree with that. Maybe the strategy is a little bit different. But
yeah, I hear you. I don't think there is if you're not rocking with someone, I don't think there's a right way to give out a star. I think you kind of are gonna lose no matter who you give it to. If she had been running with someone, I think you give it to your friend. Although that might make you both more of a target. My thoughts on targeting a star holder aside, the house clearly has different thoughts on that. The Stargate idea is clearly real and alive in the house. And perhaps Kara breathed that into existence after the first episode when she worried about it, because maybe that wouldn't have been a thought.
Yeah, I think she's saying that
not like put it out, into the universe.
Because you're so right, though. Like with what Cam said, like give it to a strong competitor. It goes back to what you said. You don't have to have a star to go into elimination. Just you can get a strong competitor out regardless.
Yeah.
So that part really,
or you could get your star from a weak competitor. You could, I mean, entertaining as she is, I feel like people are going to want to go in when Flora goes up, right? No one's seen her do an elimination in 25 years.
I honestly don't think she's probably ever seen one. I can't even remember what the last one she was on, but I bet you it wasn't even one that had. I'm gonna have to look that one up because I do want, like Kifla, he had never seen an actual elimination.
Sure, and he showed up, but I feel like if you're a guy, you're like, I want to call Kifla down in the sand, and if I'm a girl, I want to call Flora down in the sand because they've been out of the game for so long. I would love to see Flora show up and win like Kifla did. That was great. That was fantastic.
Yeah, no, Kifla, I would not be calling him.
No. Well, but after it happens once, people like wise up. And I mean, no one is going to call Kara in. No one wants to see her in elimination. They'll set her up to knock out heavy hitters in there. Absolutely. Can they somehow engineer a way to like send Kara in against Brad and like take out all the men too? Because she'd do it.
You're not wrong.
Yeah. She'd fucking dispatch them all. It'd be great. It's like that gif of Mayim on LePage with the Reaper sickle killing all the bitches on this last season.
Oh, okay. So Flora's last season was on 2002, the first battle of the seasons. And yeah, they didn't do eliminations then. I think that was maybe one of the last ones they did without that. It was just like a popularity, like voting type of situation.
If I'm a woman and I could pick the entire cast, why not pick the person that hasn't been to a formal elimination? I mean, that just feels like what a great way to get a win.
Honestly. And so Scott Yeager of Challenge Mania, he tweeted this today, and while I am like kind of dogging on Cam a little bit, I do agree with the statement he made. He said, each season of the challenge, fans seem to turn on someone who could do no wrong in seasons past, which is Cam. And so I think that that is exactly what happens. It doesn't matter what it is. That's always going to be, because the fandom is definitely not about Cam right now.
We've done it to Kara before. I mean,
yeah,
the World 2, I think, whichever the one that Ollie was on. Yeah,
when it was Kara's cult.
Like was that her last one?
Yes, okay. It was when she didn't go to Tori and Jordan's little engagement
Sure,
party.
it's that Two-Face quote from the Batman movies. You like live long enough to see yourself
Yes.
be a villain or something like that.
Yep.
I hear you. I've not seen the fandom turn against Cam, but if it's the bitch is in the middle of the star. I can see it above my head.
Yeah.
I just feel like she's got a bit of a hero edit this season. I'm not against Cam. I'll come out and say that. Like I think Cam is playing a smart game. I think she is playing a good game, and she is setting herself up for the middle of this game by forming alliances that will, because it can come down to 5 votes. We just saw that tonight. You have 3 people in your alliance in there, you run that vote table. And the more people that get out, the smaller that voting body is going to become on average. So we haven't seen that.
Yeah, I'm thinking it just happened to be that they did a team one today, but I would think the next one, it's not going to be that small.
Well, it's gone down each time. So I'm looking at the votes here. Episodes 1 was 14 votes. Episode 2 was 12 votes. 3 was 10 votes, and 4 was 5 votes. So it is trending downward. And I mean, obviously, we are eliminating more people. There's not going to be the middle group will have to inevitably shrink. I think we'll go back up
but
like 10.
But what if like the next one is a 2-person like winners group?
Sure. Yeah.
No, because if you think because
if it's pairs, then we can go way back up.
Yeah, because last time it was Adam and Avery who were the 2 winners. So yeah, because
I mean, there's 10 votes then. We had 10 voters then.
Yeah, because I can't see there being 4 votes, 3 votes for the next one.
Sure. At this point, I don't think we'll get more than about 12 voters. I don't think we'll get more than I don't think we'll get more than 12 voters at any point in time this season, and probably only 12, maybe one more time. I think we'll be at 10 or fewer for most of the rest of the season, if this format continues.
Yeah, I think just from since we have 19 people left, I think Sophie Dopey, you read my mind. That's exactly what I was about to say. Since we have 19 people left, I think the next show will be singles.
And I'm here for that. There should be some singles. It's a singles full season. Exactly. Let's have some singles shit. Yeah, absolutely. Episode 1 was singles. We had a singles already in episode 1. So
we had a singles, then we had a team, then we had a duo, then we had a team. I feel like you go back to singles for.
So if we're at singles, then maybe we have 12-ish voters. Like 1 or 2 people are on the top.
Like as you can see, the middle crew could be.
But even at 12 people, Cam's got 4 or 5 people rocking harp with her.
Depending on if they win or
if they're in the middle. Sure. But the smaller you get, I just feel like coming out with an alliance is usually a pretty strong move. I feel like often it is hard to break up an alliance that forms early if it's strong. We've seen weak alliances form early and dissolve. We've seen weak alliances form early, and then everyone outside of the alliance is able to see that they're not in the alliance. They group together. That rarely happens. But given how sort of apathetic it feels like the rest of the house has been to kind of get into a more formable alliance, I just feel like she's sitting in a good spot. I think she's playing well. I'm sad that the fandom is not happy with her.
Well, because everyone's been just like fiending for Cara to come back. And
sure.
That
I have been too. But she's one. Has Kara really ever been known as a great political player? She has had good seasons, but I don't think of Kara as like an especially strong political player.
No,
She
yeah, you're right.
she has a lot of strengths in this game, but like strong political comes usually from a strong ally, and I feel like she likes to play what we in our household call like the island of CT move, which is like I am letting my presence speak for me, and if you want to fuck with me, I'll fuck with you, but don't fuck with me. I mean, that's I feel like how CT has been playing in the modern game
Yep.
is like, which is wild because I feel like most of the time you get to a finale because you are in a good alliance. Like, look at what happened last season. We had almost everyone who was outside of this core alliance got systematically shoved out, basically. So
Yeah.
it's a hard line to play. I'm gonna let my status speak for me and not play a political game. It's a CT does it, but not many folks do it successfully.
So I was just thinking, do you think so at this point in the game, like you're kind of mid game ish
Sure, start
right
of the
now?
mid game, end of the
Yeah, 'cause there's
beginning game.
yeah. I think unless you are a star holder, you shouldn't necessarily play the daily to win. You should play to be in the middle. Like because
Someone
then
made
you
the
get the
comment
vote.
this week the middle team was the real winning team. I don't
I
remember
mean,
who said it, but someone said that they were like, they hold all the power right here. And it's true.
yeah, I think the only reason you would want to win, like be the winner of a daily, is if you are currently holding a star, because that
You
way
keep
your
your
star
star
chance.
safe.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I think that's the only way. Like try, like if you can finagle it to where you can be in the middle group, that's what you do, so that
But
you
you're
have a vote.
discounting being able to go down into the sand yourself. I still think that's going to happen within the next 1 to 3 episodes. I think someone who wins, we are eventually going to get, because like when you throw in the Rachels and the Karas, well, we have like kind of other players. Tina's here, Veronica's here, Flora's here. They're all great names to go into an elimination against and get into the sand against. I mean, I feel like there are some men here, but clearly we're like not concerned with the men in this game. We're like, who are the men? I don't know them.
Honestly, I mean, I've said that since I saw.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
know. You've been saying that the whole time.
Yeah, no, honestly, like the only point I see of winning the daily is if you are currently a star holder, and then you just kind of just try to win every single daily, I guess. Like, and that is how you protect your star. But other than that, I would want to be in the middle group so I had a voice. If you can make it to where,
sure, but towards the end, I think it's going to be pretty important to, because
yeah, honestly,
you always
wouldn't
want to be in a
have that twist.
position of control towards the end.
Yeah, and I guess you're right that it's going to happen at some point. They're not going to just have this twist and the entire season. No, not one person.
Someone's going to do it. Multiple people are going to do it. Absolutely.
There'll have to be a scenario to where that is what the best option would be. Honestly, I guess there's no other way around it.
Well, I do appreciate that they get told what the elimination is, and they get to choose they don't get to choose from the whole cast.
Exactly.
They get to choose from a set of 2 who they want to go against. I think at some point in time, especially for what a high currency people in the game have placed on stars, people are going to start going for that. I think we're going to start seeing it sooner rather than later.
I hope we do. I want to see.
Sure. We're going to be like 4 episodes from now, and Steven's going to be like, that was a fucking stupid thing. No one's fucking done it. I'll eat my words then.
I mean, I'd want them to do it, but also I don't see there being a reason to do it just yet.
Well, but people because people place such a high currency on stars. They are valuable in this game. I think it's easy to like be in the house and hear from someone that they have high value and then believe that they have high value. You know, I think, and as much as we think we know what the challenge is going to do, and I think we've kind of discussed, we think when we get to 8 people, there will be some form of elimination, so you could get a star before you go down to 6. Where was I going with this? There is still this idea when you're in the house that anything could happen at any point in time. And we've talked about, well, what happens when there's a twist? I still think that once there's a twist, there will still be a way to get a star. It might be harder. It might be more inconvenient, but
yeah, I'm wondering what kind of like mid-season twist they could possibly bring in to where. Yeah, I'm curious about that. I feel like there's always some mid-season twist, like somewhere. So like some sort of there's something.
Certainly the past like 5-ish seasons have like really enjoyed some sort of mid-season shakeup. Has that been longer?
No, there needs to be. I don't know. I'm trying to think.
They've been really into format shakeup the last
that's what I mean. Yeah,
3 or 4 years on challenge. Sure. Is changing the star a format shakeup?
I think it would just be of how you can. I don't know, because like they have just been shoving it down our throats. Like, the 6 star holders are XYZ. I don't know what it really could be. But I don't see there not being one. I can't think of any other way how
in a mini final you win that and you could get a star or something. You could see like maybe like a daily you get a star.
That's
or something.
what I would expect. Like, if you win a daily or win an elimination, like there something along those lines.
Well, and maybe they're thinking winning a daily lets you throw yourself into elimination. It gives you the option of getting a star. Perhaps, maybe we'll see a switch up if enough people aren't using the tool that production wants them to.
Yeah,
use.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
So maybe that could be.
It couldn't possibly be if you win the daily, you must go down and get it. Like it couldn't. I don't think it could be that because if you win a daily, you're safe.
Yeah,
that's why you get the option. But
well, and we're gonna also get to a point in time where a middle group like can't exist.
That's the one thing that I'm thinking of is what will be determined.
I think we might when we get to what? I feel like when we get to 10, a middle group can't exist, or if there's one winner.
Yeah,
there has to be like 3 people on the bottom, and it would only be like 1 person in the middle.
I think it would be. Well, okay. If there's 8 people left, here's what I think would happen. No, not 8. No, not even 8. I think when there's 10, it would be a double elimination, and the bottom 2 men and the bottom 2 women from the daily automatically go in, and there's no deliberation.
I'm into that.
I think that would be an easy way to get straight to the final, like double eliminate, like right before.
But then wouldn't we double eliminate?
Oh, but then
no, because then we'd be down. We'd be down to 8 that way. Like you could do it at 8, do a double elimination.
But then here's the one thing though. How does it work out when you have your 6 and there's one man and 1 woman left and neither of them have stars?
Right.
How are they?
We don't think they're going to chop them. We'd like to see it. Like
You
you
guys
don't
love
have a
purges, and I
star.
don't know why you guys love purges.
Oh,
I'm
like
not a
because like the game has to keep on going, and like I kind of like it when like something different happens. I have seen so much challenge that sometimes like one that's not. I fucking hate it when we get out of the cycle of a daily and an elimination per episode. That fucking drives me nuts. But
I think
sometimes like
not on an
what?
only on the
Oh,
main show because there's
sure,
so many episodes.
yeah,
Like because if there's either 10 or I've heard. I mean, it's been 10 for All Stars, but I've heard rumor that it's 12
okay.
episodes this time. But I mean, because yeah, this it's just so wild to me that episode 4 we get Akara and Rachel elimination. In the main show, oh my god, that would be like episode 24 that we finally get that.
Oh, sure,
Because there's so
absolutely.
many goddamn episodes on the main series. My god.
Sure, but I hate when we get like off a daily and an elimination in one episode.
Yeah, purge me out of this whole. That's the one purge I can stand behind. Yeah, I wish they had a reunion as well because season 1 had it, and of any
since then.
no, and I don't know what I think that was because they were just trying that out. It was season 1. They even had like the whole after show, like even the main challenges stopped doing like the whole like after show stuff,
which I'm fine with.
I watched them all, but I mean they're
sure. It was like a less fun Untucked.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, I don't
know.
Well,
and now they have a daily podcast where I feel like after show and daily podcast were not happening in the same time, were they?
The podcast is very new. I think I started listening when it was the first one, and that may have been.
It's been.
I think the last time they had an after show for the main show, it was Spies, Lies, and Allies 37. I think that might be when they had the first
podcast.
Podcast.
Well, it was a season I think with Tori and Anissa both on it.
They started it, and then it kind of flip-flopped around using Davon and Devin. Maybe it was All Stars 1 that they started the podcast. I'm trying to think which came first, or it may even have been Double Agents. But honestly, they started the official challenge podcast because of Challenge Mania. They were like, let us capitalize on this. But shout out to Scott Yeager. Loves you. Waiting for your OnlyFans, Scott Yeager. And I said that shit. Well, I think we can wrap it up. If you have not done yet so, please be sure you smash that like on your way out. Subscribe to us and hit the bell so you know when we go live. And follow us on our socials on Twitter at Couchutato, QWNZ, Instagram and YouTube, of course, Couchutato Queens. Lanny, where can everyone find you?
At LG714. I'm on whatever Twitter is now. It's cute.
It's always going to be Twitter to me. And I would like a follow back, Lanny. I followed you, and I would like one back, please. Thanks.
Yeah, I need to do it right now. Follow Steven.
Yeah, you can follow me. If you'd like to follow me to see all of my shenanigans, you can follow me on Instagram at Reginald__George. Or if you'd like to see my main app, my main Twitter, not my alt Twitter, you can go to at what's really good. It's at Scott Yeager.
Yeah.
Follow Scott Yeager. I told him, I'm like, we're still waiting on that OnlyFans, baby.
Where's that alt channel?
Where's it at, baby? Where's that shit at? Because we want it.
Sure.
But with that said, thank you all, and to all a good night.
Thank you, Stephen. Good night, everyone.
Nighty night.